Welcome to the instructional part of the video. You can get tabs and backing tracks if you go to my website, www.erichaugenguitar.com. For information about the sound tools I'm using today, go ahead and click on the description box underneath, down there, in your YouTube player. And for access to other supplemental goodies and exclusive content, you can find me on patreon.com/erichaugenguitar. Now, to the lesson about theme and variation. This is really just a big solo in C# minor. There's our C# blues scale. I love C#. It's a good key. Something about, what's it remind me of? Well, anyway, let's look at the first lick. I'm going to drop in there with a big pre-bend on the 9th fret of the A string there. And, resolve it to 7, 9. Interesting that I'm, not going, or most classic rock guitar players like to go back there. Now, that was kind of my thing, is I was listening to the groove I copped here, which is basically, I think it was based off a Quicksilver Messenger Service song. That was like my first idea, that there's a hit with a thumb on the 9, index finger flat against the 9s on D, G, and B, and then a response phrase. Kind of a Hendrixy kind of thing. So I'm on the 11 here of the D string. Now a couple of things to notice. I catch that 11. It doesn't go. Big difference. Now if that is my first kind of idea, I'm going to theme and variation, you can look it up on Wikipedia and you're going to come up with a lot of like advanced classical type stuff. But for us guitar players, it basically is talking about repeating your idea. And in this scenario, I'm repeating the idea and then slightly modifying the end of it. That's a really cool thing to do for your guitar solos. So it goes. There's that idea again. And I was like, I'm just going to change the last two notes. Again, that's a Hendrix trick. So I'm going up, catch it, 9 on the B, 9 on the G. Cool lick. So I did a phrase, followed by another phrase, the same first phrase, followed by one with a slightly different ending. And then I'm like, well, what's a new idea? A unison bend there on my 12th fret of my B with my index finger back there on the 9. But I'm still then going to respond with a similar phrase from before. Same idea now, but you notice I'm flattening out to get multiple strings. And then watch this. I'm going to push both these 11s up. That's a cool trick, because when you push too flat like that, because of the angles of fretboard and fingers, the G string goes up a whole step, the B only goes up a half, so you get cool trick. And then if I had this, I was like, man, I could do that again, but then I was like, let me aim for this note here, that 12, so I do a unison bend up here on the 15, which is kind of neat, because this goes out of key right here. Anyway, so that's 12 and 15. And then what I actually do is I'm looking at the response lick, this, and then I'm kind of reversing it. It's kind of like, they would call that, if we want to be nerds, retrograde inversion. But basically, the two things I'm using in this, and let me cut out so you can see my face. The two things I'm using are basically the idea of taking a lick and then changing the end of it when I repeat it, or moving it through different parts of the scale. So you're going to start to see that coming up. Okay, so where are we? So, and then what I start to do is I was looking at the end of that lick, and that led me to that, which is sort of a variant of what came before it. 11, flatten out, 9, go. Ah, sorry. And then I'm going to take that same rhythmic idea and motion and move it down a set of strings. So if I was here, you can see how it's similar but different. So that part, I'm on 11 of the A, backing off with those notes. And then I kind of end it with something. 11, 10, 9, 7, 9. And then, why did I do this? I'm not sure why. I think I just had this, yeah, I guess I'm trying to think how I did that. Don't know where that lick came from, but it is a cool idea. Getting the 8th fret note, which is, yeah, kind of a bonus note you can add to blues, and I'm doing a walk down or a fall down kind of thing. 8, 11, 9, 11, bend that 9 a little bit, release him 12. There's the run. Nice little, just kind of a, yeah, just a scale walk down. But then, theme and variation would tell me, hey, Eric, why don't you do the same idea starting on a higher note of the scale? Okay. So I had, so the next phrase, which is kind of the same idea as the phrase before it, but starting on a new note, is starting on the 9th of the B. 9, 12, 11, 9, and then a little. And then I'm thinking of the same rhythm, but going up to this 12 and pushing it up. So up, down, up, release 9. So that whole run. And then I know that there's a kind of like a turn in the thing coming for the pattern to loop around, so I do a big 11 bend. And release. So that, yeah, that is like basically, it started with this run. You can see it, yeah, that it's the same thing moved through various parts of the scale. And then I found a new theme. Reminds me of a Johnny Greenwood solo in, what was that song on the Bends? You do it to yourself. Because I think he does Anyway, it's a similar thing. It's a Johnny Greenwood idea of this like syncopated note with rhythms. So I'm back to this key. Okay. There's my new theme that, you know, just came from somewhere. Johnny Greenwood. 9th fret and thumb on the 9 down here. And then, yeah, 11, 9 there. So if that's that theme, and then I'm going to come back to it and do a little. See what I did there? Theme, variate the ending. Very scientific. And then my brain latched onto the last 3 notes. So I was like, let's grab those. Oh. So where are we? Now I'm going to go to this 9 on the B. 9, 9, 12, 11, and then it's kind of like grabbing the end and developing it. 9, 12, 11, 9, 11. And I'm like, okay, let's take that idea and move it to a lower part of the scale. You can hear the similarity in shape. Ah! That's a cool lick. Kind of gets jazzy because I'm using that special 8th fret note, the 9th of the key. 9, 11, 8, 9, 11. Kind of makes a triad there. I like that. Ah! And then I'm going to go do a similar lick starting on this 11 of the D. Yeah, you can hear it's similar but different by taking the theme and moving it through other parts of the scale. 11, 11, 9, 10, 8, because again, using those cool blues notes. And then I'm coming back to that syncopation rhythm on this 7th fret here, the E of the key. Landing down on this C sharp of the key. So yeah, let's do that whole run. And then a similar kind of driving rhythm, but a little bit different. So I'm down here on this C sharp. And then that's just me being kind of Andy Summers or something. 9, 9, 0. And then put a 7 back there, because that's out of one of the behind positions of the pentatonic. And then I do one of these Skinnered. That lick, push that 11 up. You got a 9 up top and a 12 on that B. And I know it's ending, so I just went to a... because I kind of knew that that would go with the cadence. That is 11, that's the 9th of the key again, but 11th on the fretboard. There you go. So for us guitar players, theme and variation can mean a lot of things. I was just doing a very simple, like, a couple of different ideas. The main thing you saw me do was take one idea, repeat that idea with a slightly different ending. That's one way you can kind of get more out of your solos. Again, this is all in my subcategory of like ways to not aimlessly meander around the guitar when it comes time to take a solo. Sometimes that works. I'm a very cerebral player. I have to really think about what I want to do and what I want to say before I do it. So this works for me. Might work for you, might not. Other things that are going on there, you got the idea, changing the ending. You also have the idea of take the entire idea and put it in a different part of the scale, or even a different part of the fretboard if you want. It's all about getting the most out of one little piece of creativity that who knows where that came from, but you want it when you got it, you grab it, and you do all sorts of stuff with it. The other thing that you see me do is when I, like the tail of a line, I'll be like, hold on, I got you now. And I'll take a tail of a line and then pull that to somewhere else, and I'll pull it to somewhere else. It's all, yeah, I guess it's all about this, like, I don't know how much creativity lives in people. Everybody's different. I think it's a different amount for everybody, but I definitely believe that, like, by being a smart engineer type person, you can really get more out of it. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.